Picture this. You are at your local grocery store in the US, picking up eggs and bread. Last month, a dozen eggs cost $3.50. This week they're $5. Next week, who knows? That's inflation creeping in. And when it spirals out of control, it's called an inflation spiral. Inflation isn't just about prices rising. It's a full-blown economic storm. Wages can't keep up, savings lose value, and everyday life becomes a struggle. In extreme cases like the hyperinflation in Germany after World War I, people carried wheelbarrows of cash just to buy bread. Scary? Now let's switch gears. Ever heard of brain drain? It's what happens when a country's best and brightest minds, the engineers, scientists, and doctors, leave for greener pastures. Imagine if all the top Silicon Valley minds suddenly moved to Europe or Asia for better pay. The US would feel the sting. Historically, this has hit developing countries the hardest. For example, after World War II, many brilliant European scientists moved to America, helping the US dominate fields like technology and medicine. While that was great for America, it left their home countries struggling to rebuild. On to our next one, the Dutch disease. No, it's not a medical condition. It's what happens when a country finds a gold mine, literally or figuratively. Think about the US during the Texas oil boom. Oil wealth poured in, but other industries, like farming and manufacturing, faced challenges. But why? When a resource like oil dominates, it inflates the currency's value, making other exports more expensive and less competitive. This has happened globally, from the Netherlands, hence the name, to oil-rich nations like Venezuela. It's like winning the lottery but forgetting to save or diversify. Short-term gain but long-term pain. Next, we have a phenomenon you've probably experienced without even realizing it. The network effect. Picture this. You're the first person in your neighborhood to get a landline phone. Cool, but not super useful. Now imagine everyone has one. Suddenly, your phone is way more valuable because you can call anyone. This effect explains why companies like Facebook, Instagram, and even Uber became household names. The more people who use these services, the more valuable they become. It's like a party, no fun if you're the only one there, but amazing when everyone shows up. Now let's dive into the paradox of thrift. It sounds fancy, but it's simple. Saving money is good, right? Not always. During a recession, if everyone saves and stops spending, the economy shrinks even more. Think back to the Great Recession of 2008. People tightened their belts, businesses made less money, and layoffs skyrocketed. It's a vicious cycle. Saving is great for individuals but disastrous when the whole economy depends on consumer spending. Finally, let's talk about the middle-income trap. Imagine you're running a small business. You've grown enough to make a decent profit, but now you're stuck. You can't expand without big investments, but you can't afford those investments without growing first. This happens to countries, too. Take Mexico, for example. After rapid growth in the 1990s, it struggled to transition into a high-income economy. Without innovation, better infrastructure, and education, middle-income nations often hit a ceiling. So there you have it. 6 fascinating economic effects: inflation spirals, brain drain, Dutch disease, the network effect, the paradox of thrift, and the middle-income trap. They might sound abstract, but they shape the world around us, from your local store to Wall Street. If you've ever wondered why prices change, why industries rise and fall, or why some countries thrive while others stall, these effects hold the answers. So, the next time you hear about the economy, remember, there's always more to the story.